Apple was once the company that made waiting feel like genius. While competitors rushed half-baked products to market, Apple would perfect their version and dominate. This strategy built them into a $3 trillion empire. But in 2024, that same strategy became their biggest liability. Because while Tim Cook was busy counting money, the entire tech world pivoted to AI, and Apple got left behind. The signs were everywhere. Google's CEO called AI more profound than fire or electricity. Microsoft went all in. Zuckerberg started burning billions to poach AI researchers, betting that within 18 months, AI would write most of their code. These CEOs weren't just investing, they were racing toward AGI like their company's survival depended on it. Meanwhile, Apple Innovation Division has turned into a joke. Their long-awaited Apple Intelligence reveal turned out to be a half-baked rollout, plagued with missing features and broken promises. And now, the very company that once defined the future is somehow struggling to keep up with it. And with Apple glasses on the horizon, many fear the same mistake is about to repeat itself. So, how did Apple lose its way?
The main thing that everybody cares about is our Apple devices are dumb. Siri is clueless and doesn't work.
Steve Jobs built Apple on one simple idea: to make products so elegant and user-focused that people could never imagine life without them. The iMac, iPod, iPhone, iPad, each was a revolution in their own right. All because Jobs obsessed over design and usability, even if it meant delaying launches or scrapping entire projects. His philosophy was that great products make great profits. But when Jobs passed away in 2011, Tim Cook took over. And Cook was not a product visionary, but more like a supply chain wizard. He optimized manufacturing, squeezed costs, and scaled Apple into a financial juggernaut. Cook's Apple excelled at financial engineering, because instead of one iPhone a year, Apple created tiers: Base, Plus, Pro, Max. Prices climbed steadily. Storage was soldered in to force costly upgrades, and headphones and chargers were quietly removed from the box, all in the name of margins. Because under Cook, Apple's value grew tenfold. Yet somewhere along the way, the company's soul, its product obsession, was replaced with something else: profit obsession. But it worked. Apple's services division, App Store fees, Apple Care, Apple TV, iCloud, all ballooned into a $100 billion business. Investors loved it, but customers began to notice that new iPhones weren't really new anymore. Slightly better cameras, slightly faster chips. The magic was fading. So yeah, on paper, Apple was still king, but everyone could see the cracks were forming.
Ultimately, your argument is that we're not getting that much rich innovation coming from Apple at the moment, even though they can really talk up the AI side of things.
So when ChatGPT exploded in 2023, Apple fans waited patiently for their response. WWDC 2023 came and went. Nothing. Instead, they got the Vision Pro, a $3,500 headset that makes you nauseous after 30 minutes. I mean, sure, it was cool technology, but at the wrong moment. So by WWDC 2024, desperation had set in. Apple fans needed something. And finally, Tim Cook delivered. He called it Apple Intelligence. AI writing tools, photo editing, notification summaries, and most importantly, a revolutionary new Siri that would actually work. The demos were incredible. Siri finding old contacts from vague descriptions, navigating through years of messages, understanding context like a real assistant. Apple even made it the core selling point of the iPhone 16. The commercials promised the world, and the release date was just months away. So October 2024 arrived, and with it came one of the biggest tech disappointments in Apple's history, because the entire rollout was a disaster. Photo cleanup sort of worked. Writing tools, basic stuff other companies had done better. Notification summaries broke so badly, Apple had to disable them. And Siri, the crown jewel just months earlier, still couldn't do most of what was promised. Apple even leaned on Google's AI and OpenAI's ChatGPT to make their own demos work. So in the end, all they delivered was a colorful new animation when you activated it. All style, zero substance. The actual smart Siri now promised for 2027, maybe. But if you think about it, this wasn't just a product failure. This was Apple, the company that defined quality, rushing out broken features for a quick buck. But if you've been paying attention, this disaster was actually years in the making.
Literally just advertising a new feature of this big Siri update that doesn't exist yet. It's like looking into your phone and using context to tell you something. That straight up didn't work.
So look, here's the inconvenient truth. Tim Cook has been brilliant for Apple's stock price, but devastating for its soul. Because Steve Jobs created revolutionary products, but Tim Cook just figured out how to squeeze every penny from them. Like, do you remember when iPhones were simple? One model per year, clear upgrades? Now we get the 16, the 16 Pro, the 16 Pro Max, and the Plus, each with multiple storage tiers. The base iPhone 16 costs hundreds more than competitors while offering almost nothing new over the iPhone 15. All while he performs his petty tactics to force you to upgrade anyway. Like, Cook turned planned obsolescence into an art form. So now you can't upgrade your RAM. Why? Because that's soldered in. Oh, we're sorry, you need more storage? No SD card slot for you? Nope. Just pay us that $400 extra for what would cost $50 on a PC. Like, seriously, in 2019, they literally sold a $1,000 monitor stand. And the bought and paid audience gasped and clapped right on cue, while the rest of us at home were disgusted. I mean, the App Store became a 30% tax on everything until Epic Games fought back. Even after losing in court, Apple tried charging 27% instead and threw up scary warnings when apps directed users elsewhere. But thank God that judges forced them to stop. But nothing, and I mean nothing, exemplifies Apple's dysfunction like the Apple Car. A decade-long, $10 billion disaster that produced absolutely nothing. They hired thousands of engineers, partnered with manufacturers, tested self-driving cars in California, and then just gave up. $10 billion vanished while they couldn't even fix Siri. But here's the sad reality of what really happened inside Apple. The engineers building Siri literally had no idea that Tim Cook was about to promise those features. Why? Well, because all of the demos were faked. Because the team was nowhere close to being finished. They hadn't even started testing. The internal reports are damning. Different teams kept passing Siri around like a hot potato. The AI team worked too slowly. The software team had no time. Just year after year of inaction while ChatGPT changed the world. And when Apple finally needed to compete, they had nothing. So they partnered with OpenAI, their competitor, to power their phones. Every Apple ad now essentially says, "Our phones are great at running someone else's AI." That's not innovation, that's surrender. Then, in plain sight, OpenAI steals Johnny Ive, the mind behind most of Apple's breakout products. Then shortly after, Meta poaches two of Apple's best AI engineers with 9-figure packages. And so now, the talent exodus has begun. And while Apple fumbles with basic features, NVIDIA became the world's most valuable company by actually delivering AI infrastructure. Like, Steve Jobs gotta be doing ninja flips while watching this. But, to be honest, the real tragedy isn't that Apple fell behind. It's what comes next. Like when, not if, AI becomes local to devices. Will Apple be able to keep up? Like, how long before people realize they're paying premium prices for inferior AI? A year? Maybe 2? The $10 trillion mistake isn't just missing AI. It's forgetting what made Apple great, putting the product first. And if the Apple Glasses launch next year with the same half-baked execution as Apple Intelligence, it won't just be another flop. It could mark the moment Apple officially cedes the future to its rivals. Steve Jobs said, "Stay hungry, stay foolish." Tim Cook heard, "Stay profitable, stay comfortable." And Tim Cook looks mighty comfortable, sitting on his $3 trillion market cap, even though he missed out on the biggest technology in human history. So now the question isn't whether Apple can catch up to AI. They have already proven they can't. The question is whether they'll admit it before customers figure it out themselves. Because once people switch to phones and glasses actually built by AI companies, they're not coming back. Apple had one job: don't become BlackBerry. And unfortunately for Apple employees, fans, shareholders, and customers, they're all silently thinking the same thing, that they're halfway there.